doing that.
Testing 1, 2, 3. All right, here we go. Let's do this. See how this works. These would be the times that prime and solos. Maggie Kunacek. What were number 13? Number 13 was 1/4 as a fraction, 0.25 as a decimal, and 25%. And Conrad.
What was 16?
16 was 19/6, or I suppose 3 1/6. I'm not sure what they asked you. Told them golf. Actually, answers first. Let me get those out of the way. Do we want an answer repeated? Julia? 14, negative 3, 3, 5. Negative 3, 3, 9, and 5. Victoria? 20 was 129. Answer, Jordan?
9.
Colton, then. Fire away.
I need to remember 12.
Number who? 12. I will try number 12. I guess it's not on this page. Number 12, children. Oh, yeah. A couple of people asked me about this. And I really think this is what I do, because looking at that, to me, I also get a little confused on all that. So first of all, I make sure I understand what the problem's saying. This gal is knitting a 90-inch scarf, max, with me, 90 inches. And she knits 8 inches every day. So 8 inches every day she does. Okay, so I always say to myself, okay, this wants me to write in some sort of an equation about how much she'll have left after any given day. So if I pick something like after let's say 6 days, if she knitted for 6 days, how much of the scarf would she have still left to knit? That's kind of the thing. Well, if she knits for 8 inches a day, how much after 6 days, how much will she actually have knitted?
8
times 6, which is 48, right? But she has 90 inches to knit, so how much does she have left? I would subtract that thing there, okay? So then I say to myself, what did I do? Well, I took 8 times 6, 8 inches per day. There were 6 days, so I did that. And then once I got that answer, I subtracted that from 90. And that really is the formula. The number 6 is what I put in there. That's the letter D for days, because I could put any number in there. If she only did it for 1 day, I'd multiply 8 times 1. She only did 8 inches and subtract that from 90. If she did it for whatever, you put whatever in there. So they said to write it in functional notation, which simply means this: you just use the letter F, and whatever variable we were going to put in there, you just write it like this. The function of days is 90 minus 8 times D. Don't worry about this. You could put whatever you want that for that. But if they wanted it in functional notation. So the notes to myself is I would see if I could figure out, I'd put a number in, see what I did to get my answer, and then write the equation after that, because it's just a lot easier once you figure out what you did to try to get further than there. Jay Shaw.
3.
Gordon is struggling with problem number 3. And as I see it, here is the deal, Jordan Shaw. For problem number 3, if stem and leaf plots give you trouble, oh, wait, you see this? Let me tell me why that's happening. We went through this before. As soon as I turn the TV on, I'll bet it goes away. Please? Please? Give me a second. Did it or did it? It's still flashing like crazy, man.
It went. Stop. Oh, no. Oh, it's
Does it have to have some sort of an input? Is it still going to do that no matter what? Anyways, so here's what a stem and leaf plot means. The leaf is always the last digit, the stem is what comes before it. This doesn't have to be a single digit, it could be a 2-digit or whatever. But here's what the deal is. 5 and an 8 is a 58. Then you'd have a 63, a 67, a 69, and you could write all those digits down, but you don't really want to because you don't have to. What they're asking you for is the median. Okay, median is the middle number. So I have to figure out how many total numbers do I have? Well, if I did this, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. There are 18 numbers there. It's an even number, which is bad because there is no exact, even though you think there's an even middle number for 18, there's not when you do the numbers because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, wait. 1, 2, you'd think 9 would be in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is actually the middle because there's 9 digits smaller than it, and then there's 9 numbers smaller and 9 numbers bigger. So these two numbers actually fall in the middle. And when you have an even number of numbers and you're asked for the median, you have to find the average of those two. And what was this number? This number was 78, and this number was 80. So to do that, you're going to have to add them together and divide by 2, which is what, 158 divided by 2 is 79. You might have known that was 79 because it's exactly halfway between 78 and 80. I don't know, but if that throws you for a loop, then by all means, tomorrow write all 18 numbers down in a row, count over 9, and you'll see that that's the middle. If it's an odd number of numbers, if there is an exact middle number, you don't have to do any of this average business. But unfortunately, life slapped us in the face. Max, what happened? Were you gone for? Just decide to come for the real important things is what I like.
Yeah. Like the Constitution precept.
Oh, you did miss that. Frankie?
11.
Number 11. Do I need to make that bigger? Is that too big? Quite possibly. Number 11.
So I multiplied the 3 and the 2x and got
Okay,
6.
perfect. I love that. Here's what you have to understand. There is no multiplication here. You know what multiplication is? 3 times x. What does 3x cubed mean? It means you have 3x cubes. Just like what does 3 times 2 mean? It means you have 2 plus 2 plus 2. So you have 3x cubes. Over here you have 2 more x cubes. How many x cubes do you have? 5 of them. Here you have 1 y squared and 3 more y squared, which would give you 4 y squared. Now, please don't be under the delusion that it's always going to be adding, because some of these might tomorrow be subtracting. In other words, if this was plus y squared minus 3y squared, your answer is not going to be 4y squared there. It's going to be, no.
Y squared.
It's going to be -2 because you have 1 positive 1 and you have 3 negative y squareds. Okay, it's just like, I mean, it would be the same as adding a -3 plus a positive 1. You get a -2y squared. So please, just because it didn't happen on the pretest, do not mean that it's not going to happen on no, never mind another time. Addison Curley.
Number 4.
I refuse to do number 4. Actually, I don't. Is it on this one? Is it on this one? Is it here? Oh, look at that. Not bad. Here's the deal with number 4, ladies and gentlemen. You got to take the keywords here, children. Keywords. What are the keywords? Keywords are area and square. You have a square and area. How do you find the area of a square? Well, squares are different because rectangles are technically length times width.
Side times side.
Okay, because it's a square, all 4 sides are equal. Rather than saying length times width, we do side times side because they're the same. And I know that the area is 225, which means when I multiply the 2 sides together, I have to get 225. Which means what same number times itself is 225, which in math is called the square root of 225. Which means, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry, Dory, I'll try not to be quite as which means there's no easy way to do the square root of 225. It's trial and error. You can't just do it as a division problem. It's not 25 times 5 or anything like that. You just have to sit down and go, oh, well, 10 times 10 is 100. That's too small. 20 times 20, maybe you should figure out is 400. That's too big. You know, maybe it's 15 times 15, which it is. A good key is whatever that last digit is. 15 times 15 is 225. So my answer is each one of these sides would have to be 15 times. If it was 144, each side would be 169.
13.
No, there you are. Moving on. Somebody else has Maddie Glenn.
8.
Number 8, is that over here? Is that down at the bottom? Is it over here?
Nope, down.
It's not up here. Frankie.
Okay.
Frankie. As I look at this one, ladies and gents, the one thing I would tell you, if you make a mistake, a lot of times people, you're not going to ever add 6 plus 2. Okay? Because that, in order of operations, the last thing you do is addition, which means this is all going to be done before you add 6 to whatever that is. So in order of operations, the please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Do they have an Aunt Sally here? So the first thing you do is parentheses or grouping symbols. This is the first grouping symbol you come to, which means inside the grouping symbol you have to do the grouping symbol. 5 minus 3 is 2. Hopefully that makes sense to you. I will take it one step at a time. Most of you skip a bunch of stuff and end up getting something wrong, but you don't really have to. Inside the grouping symbol, then I have to do, what's 2 to the 3rd power?
8.
Maddie? 8. So I have 8 plus 4 now inside my grouping symbol. That's going to get multiplied by 2. And then inside the grouping symbol there, 8 plus 4 is 12. And then you have to do this multiplication before you add 6 plus 8. 2 times 12 is 24. And 6 plus 24 is 30. Ta-da! Jordan Shaw.
410.
410.
Oh, I got the second part right. I
I'm sorry, Jordan.
I got AB cubed for negative AB cubed.
Where would you get it? Where would you get it?
I just, because I thought.
Wait, are you asking me, do you know what you did wrong? Do you just want an affirmation of that, or do you want, if you take this is distributive property, you're going to multiply by that.
Yeah.
First of all, first thing you look at is it going to be negative or positive? Only one negative, so the whole thing's negative there for this first term.
Yeah.
There is no other a there, so the a stays. A b times a b is b squared.
I just thought the c squared carried over.
No, the exponent only goes, if this was in parentheses like that, yes. But otherwise, if it wanted b squared, the b there'd have to be a 2 above that b as well, and there's not. And then there's a c squared, no c's over here. And then you have the next term, which is a negative times a negative, which gives you a positive. A times a squared is a cubed. The exponents only go for what's directly in front of them. It doesn't carry over to all that. Wait, is that for my birthday? It hasn't happened. Sam gave me a birthday present long ago. Thank you.
I give you a
Oh, it was Max. I'm sorry, it was Max. Max did.
What did you do, Max?
What'd you give me? Like my favorite present of all time. Not that yours is. Yours will be mine. They're both tied.
I think you like it. It's my binder.
To the side of
My
each.
course is on my thing this morning.
Oh, you seem a bit disheveled, and you're not even going to be here next week, right? Or tomorrow? Are you even here tomorrow?
Yeah.
Wait, you are here tomorrow?
Yeah.
Other ones. Going over the test and jump in and grab a piece of paper or whatever you think is going to get you to wherever you need to be. Hi. Which one? 13. Did you say 15? All right. A couple people asked me this. I think you're making this one out to be much more difficult than it is. If it helps you, which maybe in this case it would, I would flip-flop the equal sign on these terms and move the 1/3 x to the left side and the -6 to the other side. I believe in math that's called the reflexive property, which just means if two things are equal, it doesn't matter what side of the equal sign you put them on. You can do that.
Yes.
Secondly, then, Ty, we've talked about this for years. If you have a fraction in front of a letter, right, and we'll make that a fraction by doing that. So you flip this over, make it 3/1. It goes away, but I have to multiply this by that 3/1 as well. This is a negative times a positive, so my answer is negative. 6 times 3 is 18. You could put a 1 under it, but there's no real reason to because we don't put 1s under things in math. We just leave it as a negative 18. Seagull!
Number 19.
Tell me you didn't fall for the problems of number 19. I didn't know what 19 there. Is this the one where you have to add all the numbers in? Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, please do yourself a huge favor. I would take a whole half a piece of paper to do this problem. Just because one of the main issues people have is they just try to do it all in some sloppy manner. And you know what sloppy work some shit gets you? Nothing good. Hi, did you put parentheses for all this? Or Colton, did you put parentheses for all this? I mean, did you do this? Did you go, okay, x, big parenthesis, 3 times y times z, big parenthesis, over x times z? Did you happen to do that? Did you? How many people did that? We're making small progress. Baby steps, ladies and gentlemen. X is 4, so this is a 4, and this is a 4. Y is 3, and Z is apparently -2. You need a simple, well, that's just good. There's multiple ways you can do this, but I'll do the one way I think you'd probably think would be the best. So on top, what do you get? Let's see here. 3 times -2. Well, it's 1 negative, so that's going to be negative in that parenthesis. 9 times 2 is 18. But I still have that 4 outside there. 4 times -18, anybody? -72. On the bottom, 4 times -2 is -8. And then 2 negatives here at the end are going to give you a positive, and 8 goes into 72 9 times. Don't need a positive, but again, I would do that on a big sort of thing. Ooh, Sam. Sam was looking like very excited about this. Which one's 13? I didn't know you could slide this thing around. What's Frankie talking about? 13, there are 9 blue. Oh wait, that's 3. Where did 13 go?
And it's probably.
Wait, it's not even on this page.
Frankie's misleading.
But I did this. Why did it switch? This one. Did you draw a bag with marbles in it?
No. Yes, Mr. Hunt, I did.
What did your bag look like? Can I see that?
9 blues. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2 reds.
Yeah, I saw it. 1/4.
And 1 green. Probability that it's not blue. Probability that it's not blue. So total marbles is what, 8, 12? How many of those total marbles are not blue? 1, 2, 3. That
Don't you
means-
remember?
Now I feel like I'm getting favorites here.
No, you're not.
I haven't. Colin,
Yes, thank you. I need number 5.
Yes.
Gosh,
Bro.
I
5.
got it
we're an equal opportunity problem.
right.
Tom Bocek cheated. He said he got it right, but doesn't understand.
Hey, I can ask questions for things I got right to get prepared for the test.
Yeah, see?
I did.
One might not wonder why, but okay. Problem number here.
You're wasting
Now, this
time.
time, ladies and gentlemen, these are multiplication, unlike that one where it was adding, that we said, you have 5y squared plus 4y
Still
squared,
add.
9y squared. But this time, your exponents will change because you're multiplying. You have 3 a's times themselves plus another 4 a's times themselves. That is a grand total of 7 a's times themselves. When you multiply bases or like bases with exponents, you add their exponents together. Same thing with b. I have 2b's plus 7 more b's plus 4 more b's. That ends up being 13 b's, I hope. A to the 7, b to the 13.
Makes sense, Colin?
Colin, I'm glad you asked that question because so many people struggling with this.
Oh, very good.
Clark,
9, got him.
Steve,
9?
Wait, so it's B to the 4th power?
Really?
B to the 12, 13.
Good.
Kelly, add them all together. Who asked me this one? What did you get, Clark? 1 negative makes the whole thing negative, first of all, right? And it's 4.5 divided by 9. Bring the decimal straight up. 9 goes into 45 that time. One of them's negative, so the whole thing's negative.
Oh, from my limit.
What did you get for it, Trey? Tell me.
I got -2. I did it, 9 divided by 4.5.
You know, that happens more times than not. When you flip them around. Look at all these people here. I've got so many. Frankie, you've been waiting so patiently.
Thank you.
As long as he says 16. No, I'm waiting you for 16.
Which one?
14, 2, like -2. How do you get -3?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
You do the math.
3
All right,
times
wait,
-2.
stop for this one. So here, ladies and gentlemen, again, take the time and do this. You are taking 3x plus 3, and I'm plugging in -2, right? So it's 3 times -2 plus 3.
Yeah.
3 times that is -6. -6 plus 3 is -3.
Math.
I got -4. What did I do?
Okay, my bad. I thought you added them and I got negative. And then 20.
Kelly, you want me to do more on that one?
No.
20.
I thought you were asking me, could you do, no?
20.
Yeah, 20.
You can't just start shouting out answers, right, Jordan?
No. I
Thank
that's not an
you.
answer, it's a question.
Jordan, what? 16.
16.
Finally. I've been waiting on 16 the whole
I've
time.
been waiting on 16. So was I. But you didn't ask for 16.
Because I only got one question that I didn't understand how I messed it up. It was so simple.
Why did you get wrong?
I don't know what it's gonna take to get you all to catch on to this equation thing, but this is just as easy as can be.
Easy as 1, 2, 5.
Alright, this is, you do this the same exact way you would do something that said a minus 3 equals 5. If you were asked to do that equation, what's the first thing you would do, Jay Shaw?
You'd add 3
And that's what I'm gonna do. I add 3 together, so I add 3/4. If I add 3/4 to this, my common denom is 12, 10, 12, 9. I'm just gonna assume that we're all on the same page and that everybody knows how that goes. 10 plus 9 is 19 twelfths, and that equals 1/2 a. You don't wanna change it into a mixed number, and then
I did
again,
that.
once you, how do you get rid of a fraction in front of a letter? You flip it and multiply. And And that's at this point, I'm a little disgusted with somebody that you just don't know how to cross cancel yet. 2 reduce before you multiply, 2 goes into 2 once and 2 goes into 12.
I just did something else. I just did something else, that's it.
There was the whoa on that.
What's?
19 over 6.
You need your days or no?
You can leave it as 19 over 6. If you need to reduce, yes. Can you leave it as improper? Yes.
Which one I got it right?
That's the answer I read.
You got it right, Frank? I wrote 3 and 1 6.
Well, sure, I said 3. Actually, in passing, I believe I did say 3 and 1 6. Curly?
18.
Which the 8, we should go over what does the 18th Amendment say? Oh, that
The
was
18th
prohibition.
What was the 21st? Reappeal?
Again, Addison, if it helps you, because we usually have the letter on the other side, take this whole thing, move it over here, and take this and move it over there. I don't know if that makes any difference, if that's why some people get this right or wrong. How do I get rid of the 6? Subtract 6. And a negative 13 minus 6, those are both negatives. When you have add or whatever, you have 2 negatives, you get a bigger negative. You get negative 19.
Oh.
Starting at negative 13, subtracting 6, you're coming back the other way. I could do that. Ty Hobbs,
6.
please, no, not 6 again.
We already answered this, Tyler.
Frankie. These are times when sometimes your words are difficult.
Frankie, what?
I think that is a apology, don't you think?
Yeah,
also, I think so.
And literacy.
Don't be afraid to say I'm sorry.
Really? You can get you out of a lot of things. Tyler, I am so sorry. You have to say it genuinely. It was genuinely.
No, you have to say it like angry.
Alright. Please,
From the bottom of my heart.
excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Technically here, there are no parentheses, because this parenthesis doesn't matter, you can't simplify it. So we really just start on exponents. And what exponents do we have? Well, we have this, which is 25.
Minus 2.
2 to the 3rd power is 8. So exponents are done. Then I need to do multiplication and division from left to right, which means 25. This is my first one. That division is 4 divided by 2 is 2. And then you have this multiplication, which is 48. Now, please understand this, ladies and gents. Okay? You are not allowed to just do this first and then subtract that from 25, because it has to be done from left to right. You're on the same level. You must go 25 minus 2 first and get 23, and then you add your 48 to it to get 71. Otherwise, if you take this and add that to it, you end up subtracting 50 from 25. How many people got negative 25? Anybody? You do order of operations, say when they fall on the same level, it's got to be left to right. There's the notes to self. So the notes to self.
There's no question.
Tell you don't even have a pre-test with you. That just kind of confuses me a little. I've not until
I
the end.
remember
So
needing help
if
on
I'm
that.
left with that one at the end for the people that did bring their test, I will get to that one. Unless one of these people, Jordan.
20. Thank you.
We're getting, Kel, I have a good feeling that we're gonna end up with time for it, but.
You answered every other question.
Wait, I've answered every other question or every other question?
No, we haven't done 7.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen,
My bad.
please, please, please do parentheses 2, big parenthesis, little parenthesis for the M, little parenthesis for the N, Q plus 3 parenthesis squared. What numbers go in there? M is 5, so you put 5s in for the M's. And N's are 2s. Order of operations, say I have to do parentheses first, so 5 minus 2 is 3. 5 squared is 25. Then from there, 3 squared is 9. I guess I still have that. 2 times 9 is 18. 18 plus 75 is 93.
Whatever the cube.
What cube?
93.
Oh, was that a cube? All right, did I do that wrong? Was this,
I thought it was
sorry,
129.
it probably was a cube. So this would actually be 27, so that makes this 54.
129?
Yeah, 129, sorry.
There you go, yeah.
I am going to blame the board because I did write a 3, but it looked like a 2.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm bored.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
No.
Said we all make that.
Hi, Hops.
7.
Is that one we haven't done yet?
Yeah.
Well, we haven't done one yet. We did one?
I mean, I don't really need
You don't really need me to do 7. You just want to. Oh, please understand this because really, I'll bet some of you got this one that did not ask the question. Okay. Order of operations again. Absolute value signs are a grouping symbol. You have to do this first. You can't make this positive 4 and add that together and get 13. You have to do 9 minus 4 is 5. That's an absolute value sign, and then there's a minus out there.
Yeah.
Please, 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 please don't fall into the common trap. Absolute value signs never make things negative. Absolute. Did somebody tell me what the exact definition of absolute value is?
The absolute value.
What does it, what, when you look it up in a book or online, it'll tell
Absolute
you.
value, the distance.
I will tell you.
Yeah, the distance.
Wait a minute, Nathan, I was just about to let you show that.
Frankie,
Absolute value is a distance. Okay, it's a distance. So here is 0, here is 5, here is -5. It doesn't matter which one you have in the absolute value sign. They are both exactly 5 units from 0. Distance can't be negative. You cannot go negative miles. Okay, you could walk backwards, but you're still going a positive distance. So this absolute value of 5 is simply 5, and then there's a negative out there making it -5. Maybe that'll be extra credit. The exact definition of absolute value.
So far, this way.
Number 1 for Kelly. Other people would ask this too, by the way. I'm guaranteed that not everybody got this right or understood it, because people even asked me yesterday. Here is what you have to understand, ladies and gentlemen. 123,200 yards per hour. Right off the bat, you should be thinking that is a fraction because the word per is a fraction bar, a fraction line. 1, 2, 3, 2, 0, 0, and labels are fantastically important. Yards per 1 hour. That is what you're given. That's your starting point. They then ask you to change it not into the yards, but you want to change it into miles per hour, which means you use a conversion fraction, unit multiplier, whatever, and have to get labels crossed off. The question you ask yourself, am I trying to get hours into something other unit of time, or am I trying to get yards into some other unit of distance? Which you would say, Max, am I changing hours or am I changing yards? I am not, because notice it wants it in miles per hour. It still wants it in hours. I'm changing into yards into, yeah. So if yards are on top up there, they'll be on the bottom here. Miles will be on top over there. And then they told you there's 1,760 yards on every mile. Yards will cross off. And it's just a matter now, because you have to do 200 divided by 1760. Some of you just whine about that. No. Cross off, divide by 10 gets you that, and I can tell you it's not that difficult. Just take 1, 2, 3, 2, 0, divide by, oh God bless you, man. And you get what, 7?
70.
42, 4, 49, 53, 5, 53, 12. You have that other zero. So it's 70 miles per hour. I usually sleep at 2 hours. Jacob, what's your thoughts? I noticed you didn't answer the question. Oh. Was that it? Because I couldn't give you back some quizzes that some of you really desperately need to
Yes,
crack.
yes.
And the reason why Jacob came to mind on that,
Why?
you want to know, Jacob?
He's a star student.
Because you missed 0. And I said, whoa, did Jacob cheat?
Whoa, Jacob.
Round of applause,
It was
people.
nicely done.
Cheating without being caught. Not cheating if you don't get caught, but most people do.
Unlike Jacob.
If you were gonna cheat, you wouldn't show all the work that you
No days.
did. So that would be the thing.
Well, you probably got.
Israel, there goes
Good job.
Here, I will have Colton pass out those. I've got 2 actually that you can correct.
Come on, Colton.
Yes, Andrew, I'll let you pass out the other. And I'll get you a test note, except I have to find my.
You don't need that, my man.
I didn't know. What? Oh, it's this test.
I did the worst.
Oh.
Israel, Derek, I'm proud of you. Okay?
Don't forget.
Oh.
Sign.
Gosh, why? Can I have it?
Let's go.
Can I have one back?
Again, remember.
Yes,
those are
Colton,
things
do
you
that.
Should know.
Please do that. Hurry up. I want my having a conversation with
If you correct it, put it on my desk, I will change your grade a
I
little.
had to correct it again.
What?
Ah.
You gotta correct it some way so that I know what you corrected in.
Oh.
Somehow designate that you corrected it. I give everybody a test note.
Wait, Mr.
No.
Am I doing?
Yeah. Frankie, good job. Thank you. Colton, I'm right here. I'm right here, Colton. I'm right here. Oh my God. I'm just gonna skip all
No, Frank.
Oh, I got my present. No. Yeah, bro, we're two. You know what? Jacob, look, I can cheat here.
I got 50%.
You don't have to do
I got-
anything with it.
I got
I got it.
There you go.